Hello, this is Kristen of Cherry Blossom Spirituality and Miss Juno, back again for another little chat about Kundalini. Thank you for being here. I made a video just recently about Kundalini transmission work, healing the physical body, and my personal experiences. So I wanted to make another one more focused on mental and emotional healing and the experiences that I've had with this work. Obviously, energetic as well ties into all of this, but the concept that I believe in is that we have the physical, mental, emotional, and etheric or light or energy bodies, and all of these bodies are intertwined. And when you heal one, you heal another. There's a holistic aspect to the bodies of the human. So we like to compartmentalize and separate, but I'm trying to do that for the sake of explaining specifics and not just rambling about everything all at once. But our focus will be mental and emotional healing through the Kundalini transmission work. But just know that it's not like only that, and it touches upon all the bodies, okay? Anyway, when I started receiving this work, I had already been really into shadow work integration, healing those deep subconscious wounds and inner child traumas and even past life, parallel life, and ancestral stuff. So I was already into that. I'd already taken therapy quite a few times to help heal emotional blocks, and which some was hit or miss. Some therapy has worked and some was like really detrimental. So I have like mixed opinions about therapy, but I think it's a good thing in general, but just in my personal experience. But you know, everyone is going to resonate with different healing modalities and things that work for them, and not one is better than another in each moment to help shift your beliefs and your mental state, as well as your clearing any kind of like emotional stuff that has been repressed. So there's different ways to do all this, you know. Kundalini work is just one way. I'm not saying like this is like the end all be all of healing. No, I love variety, and I like to try a lot of different things. So like totally open-minded about that. This is just one way. But when I started doing this, I was in a really stuck place, disempowered in a lot of ways. And when I would do this work, it would help me understand that the power was within me. I could literally feel that energy moving through me to help rejuvenate me, give me energy, inspire me to move forward, take the action I need to take in my life, and make changes, you know. And a lot of people are scared of change. It can be scary, out of your comfort zone kind of thing. But this work encouraged me to do that, just from the upliftment of the positive energy running through me from receiving this. My own energy motivating me to move forward. And I've heard this from other people that have received Kundalini transmission work, that it has helped them let go of addictions, toxic situations, and people and partnerships and environments and jobs and all of that. So there's something to be said about this work helping to purge anything that has been keeping you out of alignment and giving you that necessary, it's like helping hand to stair step into that quantum leap to your highest timeline, or whatever you want to call it, like just a better, more improved life, more in alignment with you. Sorry, I think they're doing construction at my apartment if you hear like hammering. Anyway though, it did help give me insights and awareness, blind spots that were holding me back. Each week I would do like weekly online receiving is typically what I would do when I started this work. And oh my gosh, every week it would bring up something, whether my brain, this is the mental thing, like my thoughts would keep thinking about one thing over and over and over and over again, and worrying about that one thing, whether it was money or, career success or relationship or whatever. It was just like going over that. And then it was like in the session, eventually those thoughts would stop. I'd let go, I'd surrender, and then have emotional release, and then there'd be some kind of epiphany. So it was kind of interesting that was my experience many times. And this is just theory, in my opinion, obviously, but like there's something to be said about how our reactions work in the human body. There's a theory that everything starts as a subconscious thought, and then from that subconscious thought comes conscious thought and emotion. And then you either choose to consciously allow the emotion to flow or stuff it into the subconscious, right? So it's just a theory, but I think that's very interesting. Like, we have thoughts before they're in our conscious mind, they're in our subconscious, that creates the emotion and the conscious thought, which creates the beliefs, because beliefs are thoughts that we just keep thinking. So you can literally change your beliefs through healing and going into the subconscious, figuring out what those original thoughts were that planted those seeds for those other thoughts that are in your brain and those emotions that are stuffed in your body. Hopefully this isn't too confusing. I'm sorry, it's a little out there, but what I wanted to express in this was that it helped me every class. Like, if I was having a problem, and I think it's best to do one of these transmissions without a focus, and not to say like, I have to solve this in this class, or I have to shift this in this class. It's okay to have intentions, but for this work in particular, because there's so many things that can happen in one class, and it's like whatever you need in the moment, sometimes you can be disappointed and you want to work on one thing and then another thing is what comes up. And so I think it's a healthy thing to just be open-minded as you do a Kundalini transmission, and just trust that your own divinely intelligent energy is going to give you whatever you need in that moment to heal and shift whatever you need most right then and there. What is priority, This energy knows. It's your own energy. Your spiritual awakening energy knows what you need in that moment most for your spiritual awakening journey to continue in its best fashion and best timeline. So I was able to kind of have those breakthroughs and breakdowns that started mentally, and then had the emotional purge and release, and then the shifting of the belief. So it can be a really amazing journey like that. And this video is just to let you know, like, this was my experience. Mental and emotional healing can go kind of hand in hand like that. It's not always like that. I've also had experiences in this work and outside of this work too, where just random emotional purges happen and you just let it flow through, and you don't really even know what you're crying or screaming about, but it's coming out, and it needs to come out, and so it's like a clearing of trapped emotions, which is a good thing. And then also, like, I've done mental work outside of this as well, and done the exercise where you ask why you're having a certain thought that has formed a belief, like 7 times, and you go down to the root. If you ask 7 times, you'll typically find the root of why, like what really is beneath that statement that is going on, and what's the core root of it, what's the core wound, and where did it start, and how to heal that. I think it's good to search and ask why, but not to get lost in it. Always come back to your centering, to yourself, to the present moment, to your physical body, ground, and then be able to live your life. So I think it's good to go on these little adventurous journeys of your subconscious, but to bring yourself back, because you could get lost. And some people say, don't ask why, you don't need to know why. I like to know why. I ask why all the time. My friends laugh at me because I ask why my exes hated that. I would always just like constantly want to know the deeper reasoning for things, but that's just how I work, you know? Um, but that being said, there is a balance there. Not needing to know everything every moment in order to control it, you know, having a kind of divine surrender that there are some mysteries and that you will get insight to that later when the timing is right, whether it be in this life or when you've moved on to the other side. So I've tried to strike that balance. Basically, though, it's best to enter this work open-minded because you could just be working through some thoughts around a belief. You could be working through purging trapped emotions from the body. And a lot of those videos you see with Kundalini work, which they also call like life force energy work. There's people that call it like Kundalini activation process, and then there's Kundalini Reiki out there. There's so many different types of things, and even in some Tantra, you know, you're like the physical body is moving as the emotions release, and there can be shaking, a somatic release that happens, nervous system release that happens. There can be emotional purging, and then the body moves. It doesn't always have to be that, though. It can be really still and really internal and really like subtle as well. So it doesn't have to be really big, but it can happen, and it's okay if it happens. It's not anything bad because you're releasing. You're clearing the way for the Kundalini energy to flow, which is what this is all about, right? Because the more it flows, the more well-being, the more your light will shine for yourself and others in the world, and the more like higher vibrational and bright life can be. There is something to be said, though, and I think the founder of CAP, Bennett Wong, had said this. So I remember looking at this quote where he was saying, you know, a lot of people tend to live life in the gray, like in the safety zone of a certain range of emotions, and that it is best to feel things fully, to then transcend things fully, and that range of emotional low, being able to be brave enough to feel those very deep, scary, uncomfortable emotions is going to also give you that beautiful experience of being able to feel the very high vibe, positive emotions. There's a bravery of being able to feel so much on the spiritual awakening journey, whether you do this Kundalini stuff or not. But in this Kundalini work, you can do that. You can practice that during a class. You can practice just allowing whatever comes up to feel, and to feel it fully, and whatever thoughts come with that, to allow those to do whatever they need to do. You know, it's not to like tell your mind to stop, like, you know, that typically doesn't work, like when you're trying to meditate and then you're trying to quiet your mind and then the thoughts just keep going and keep going. It's like healthiest to accept, okay, these thoughts are coming up, and let them flow like a cloud or a bubble flowing in your mind past, right? And just let them run their course, and then see what's underneath that, why that was even happening. It could just be a release of stress. That's a huge thing. Because a lot of us just carry a lot of stress. So I'm not trying to say it's always going to be the same way. It can be so many different things that happen in one class. Just personally, though, I like to cry in these classes, Kundalini work. I like to laugh. I like to feel very blissful joy and connection with the divine. And usually I'll feel that juxtaposition of the very high and very low in one class. And I will also work through thoughts and beliefs underneath the thoughts. So it's kind of cool because so many different things are happening all at once. Like a healing of all the bodies. And that's why it can be a little hard to pinpoint. It can seem a little complicated because so many different things can be being healed in one class. But they're all interconnected, just like everything's interrelated and interconnected in some way. Yeah, I hope that gives you a little bit of insight to what can happen in a Kundalini transmission in terms of mental and emotional healing. All in all, though, I want to say that it has helped me to be more aware, more brave, and observe more, and be more empowered, more self-loving. Because ultimately, allowing yourself to even do healing work is a form of self-care, self-love, and it's very, very valuable. Whether it's this work or not, I think self-care is something a lot of humans need right now. And this is a way you can kind of go deep and allow yourself to, even if you don't completely work through something in a transmission class, usually the next few days after that, you'll keep purging, or you'll keep getting insights, and you'll transcend and transmute, and you'll work through it to a different state of being. It's not to force yourself to have to finish the emotional or mental work or whatever's coming up in one class, and it may culminate to like the next week or the next class, and then then you're finishing whatever that journey was. But just knowing that whatever it was necessary in that moment, and to allow yourself to understand that every moment with that, even if it seems uncomfortable, or like you're like, oh, I wanted to really rest, and then my thoughts just kept running during the transmission. That can happen, right? But that was necessary. That's like stress or something being released, right? Like there's a reason for everything. And it's not to control the experience, it's to trust this divinely intelligent energy to assist you in the best way in whatever you're needing. I'm just so grateful because I think it was like a couple years I was just going weekly to Alexandra Michelle. She's such a great facilitator. She does her own certifications now too, and her classes were just such a beautiful, safe space and container for me to work through a lot of stuff. I obviously am still always working through a lot of stuff, and I love the recorded video of the woman who certified me, Maria Palomino, because I can just play that recorded video anytime, and it can assist me. Not that I need the video, I can talk to my Kundalini and help it move or whatever, but if I'm needing like assistance with this, like some kind of like physical healing or mental emotional shifting, or just like energy clearing, you know, and energy brightening. So there's so many different ways to benefit from this. It's kind of cool though, because you're your own therapist in a way. When you work through this mental and emotional stuff, you're the one putting the puzzle pieces together. You're the one connecting the dots. And it may not be within the class, but it's most likely a little bit after, and you connect the dots yourself. You are your own healer, and you are your own guru, and this is your own energy. The facilitator is just assisting you to be able to heal yourself. So that's also what I love about this, because I'm all about empowering people and not creating codependency where they think they need to have someone else answer all the questions for them or do all the work for them. It's learning to take care of yourself and to grow on your own spiritually and listen to your own intuition. All right, I hope that helped explain a little of my emotional mental stuff without going into like the personal details of my life, but just the general overview. It's been really, really helpful. Just that time to reflect, and work on this stuff, self-care time. I wish you all the best, and catch you at another one of these chats.